Hello there, Taurus. Welcome into your weekly reading. We're going to read for the week of March 31st to April 6th, 2025. I feel really good in your energy. There's an ultra peaceful way about you, but there's a sense of happiness throughout the week, and that makes sense because your overall pre-pulled card is the Sun card. And so there's something about you maybe as well being a little bit tired or just burnt out at certain points, and it's realistic in regards to when it comes to all that you have going on, being affected by this and that, and just maybe needing to prioritize your beauty rest, your healing at certain points. But anyways, with the Sun card being your overall energy, it's going to be a really positive week for you, full of invigorating energy is what I'm hearing. Satisfaction playing into things, gratification and abundance are now the words I'm getting. But it just feels like there are random moments of unexpected happiness, and there's a sense of you really putting in the work, feeling motivated throughout the week, and choosing to, even if you don't realize it in the moment, you're choosing to enjoy yourself more, even when it comes to the mundane day-to-day routines, obligations, responsibilities, routines, you name it. You're enjoying yourself more, and we know for a fact, I say this in readings often, it makes such a difference in regards to what you're applying yourself towards. And it just feels like as well, there's this way about your energy that leaves people feeling at ease, maybe even helping them feel brighter because you're feeling bright. You're feeling like this sun energy throughout the week for the most part. And it almost feels like there's a highlighting of the fact that people, places, situations, occurrences at this point really don't hold power when it comes to your light. Does that make sense? Sure, certain aspects of life, regardless of what it is, can, add to your light and make you feel brighter, happier, and whatnot, but maybe help you glow. But it just feels like that message was more so saying, nothing in this life really can at this point along your advanced path dim your light, as long as you choose not to allow it to, okay? I hope I said that correctly. It just basically feels like it's a time where you're feeling a sense of control over your individual light, your individual energy, and really just pushing forward. And I'm hearing creating magic throughout the week and connecting with people with such significance. It just feels like Spirit's very alive within your world more than ever, where maybe if you felt like your team of guides weren't playing an active role in your life or tuning in or stepping in as much as they could have been, you're not going to be feeling that throughout the week. It's going to be a very life-changing spiritual time for you, where Spirit is very evidently working to your advantage. So don't be surprised when you're seeing spiritual messages like symbols, synchronicities, vivid dreams coming into play, feelings and sensations, experiences otherwise that are very much Spirit's way of saying maybe simply, I'm here. We're here. You don't have to worry. Don't stress it. You're not alone. Things are going to work out, but then there are definitely other messages coming through, maybe to make you happy, to brighten up your energy even more. But it just feels like you're maybe needing to write things down throughout the week because a lot's going to be coming through. But let's move on. We'll pull this on over. Okay, let's move on as keywording. You will find that throughout the week, your ability and your strength when it comes to letting it go and letting it flow, that's going to come in handy. All right. You need to remember that when you hold a grudge, because Tauruses do hold grudges, I definitely have learned that over time. When you hold a grudge or you hold on to something or you just don't let it go, maybe you're bringing something up in conversation time and time again, even with significant space in between, or you linger on it within your memory, within your downtime, you're giving that power. You're creating more difficulty for yourself, or more of what you're lingering on in some way, shape, or form, if that makes sense. And Spirit is saying, you need to remember, okay, you might be making yourself nervous, or it might be in regards to somebody or something that's made you nervous, but it just feels like you're going to need to remember you're a manifester, period. All right, you're going to create what you speak, what you focus upon, what you truly believe. the Four of Swords, because it feels like, once again, Spirit's saying multiple times, maybe through feathers and stuff like that, in 444 is what I'm getting. You're protected, all right? But we need to also remember that you're only human, okay? And you may not feel like it at all times or in general, and I can relate. It's definitely partly due to your spirituality, if that's the case, but it just also feels like a week where you're needing to remember that, again, you're only human. You need to rest. You need to prioritize your beauty, rest and self-care and whatnot, and that makes you happy. Because think about it. There may be certain moments where you're reminded you can be your happiest version of yourself when the happiest version of yourself when you're ultra tired or burnt out or on your way to a state of burnout. But it feels like more times than not, you maybe get a little bit grumpy, and I can relate when you're tired, a little moody, just not really feeling super up to it. And so just Spirit saying, you know, when you get your rest, when you take care of yourself, you are the brightest version of yourself, period. I even feel like self-care from the recent past is playing into this week, as far as you seeing results due to it. But the Ten of Wands, because Taurus, this will be a week where they're saying you have a lot on your plate. You have a lot on your back. You may be considering or thinking about the potential of a new upgrade or beginning, maybe a promotion for some. And they're saying, look, take a step back. Look at all that you have on your plate currently. Look at all that you are managing, and maybe how tired and at times overwhelmed, you know, how you've been recently. And so they're asking you realistically, if you were to maybe look at this as, say, a friend's or a coworker's situation, what would you say as far as taking something else on? What would you actually say? And I'm not asking you to answer as far as what you wish to see out of life moving forward. We need to be realistic, all right? But also, when you're feeling a bit of heaviness in regards to your energy, this is solely for my empaths drawn to the reading. You pick up on energy, all right? Spiritually, in your physical reality, even in energetic connection or two at a distance, go cleanse your energy. Palo Santo, sage, it could be, you know, incense. Find something, grab something and cleanse your energy, please. You'll feel 10 times lighter, 10 times healthier. And they're saying, remember, that affects your mental state and your emotional state. But I do feel as well, it's going to be a week where you're needing to recognize and remember that when you choose to approach this and that in a light manner, when you choose to still put all of yourself into something but not over exude or overstimulate, if that makes sense, you still get a quality result, but you don't feel as drained after the fact, okay? But I feel like you're very personable throughout the week. You're very likable, lovable. There's just something about your personality shining bright. It's a little bit quirky, a little bit sassy, but overall quite happy. I'm being reminded of somebody that I work with recently, talking to another coworker, you know, right by me, and he mentioned the fact that I'm always happy. And I looked at him, I turned around and I said, am I really? That's absolutely false. You know, I have my unhappy moments, my grumpy moments, my, you know, angry moments. I'm only human, you know, as are you. And so there's something about people viewing you in a very happy light, even if it's quite, it's not completely accurate, if that makes sense. Something similar potentially to what I just mentioned. Anyways, the Queen of Cups. I do feel as if this is another week where you're feeling quite golden, and it's almost as if this week is setting you up for an amazing remainder to April, where I find that it's going to be more lucrative, more successful, a lot happier time for you in comparison to March and even previous to it. But it feels like you are holding your own cup and saying, I need to fill it up. You know what I mean? At certain points. And so throughout the week, when you need to fill it up, fill it up. Get your cup overflowing, or at least fill it close to the top, and let the abundance that flows in certain forms overflow it for you. And I just feel like as well, there's a bit of a regal way about how you're carrying yourself. It's almost as if people are seeing your energy, feeling your energy, screaming your worth to the world, to that situation in that moment or set of moments. It feels like people can't ignore the value that you provide, that you bring to the table. I also feel like your way about leading is very easily digested, utilized, applied. There's a feeling of you as well being very assisting, very caring, kind in nature. You will have certain moments throughout the week, Taurus, where you give somebody, multiple people, advice, and then they maybe don't want to take it at first because it's so real, it's so honest, and then that truth is then digested, and they feel quite thankful for your existence, for your random advice. And I wouldn't be surprised if spirit has something to do with that. I just heard we work wonders. Why do we have another heavy card? The Five of Swords. For this is a week where you do deal with certain stresses, and that's taking a highlight. But I honestly feel like it's almost as if there's maybe, say, noise at work or at home, or bad energy or spiritual occurrence that you're not loving. Or it could be someone else's energy, and it's like out of sight. Excuse me, let me try that again. Out of sight, out of mind. That's kind of the energy I'm getting. I'm not going to give that power. I'm not going to give that weight. I'm just going to shift on forward and do my best, and maybe realign my focus if need be. But let's shift on forward. Yeah, the High Priestess. This is absolutely in alignment. As again, we're talking about this being a very spiritual week where they want you to remember that you're meant to be feeling light and fluffy. You're meant to be feeling light as a feather, light and airy. And so when it comes to certain heavy energies and whatnot, including objects and environments, we're needing to make sure that we either reevaluate if need be for a change in the future potentially, or adjust our physical placement or association in that moment in order to adjust our energy, to make sure we protect it, to feel light and airy as we can see in this imagery. But again, I find that spirit is very connected to this Taurus collective throughout the week. As I feel with the Knight of Pentacles, okay, there's slow progression, slow movement, growth for you. But I do feel as if either way things are moving on up for you. Now, as well with the Knight of Pentacles, I wouldn't be surprised if this is a week where you are moving quite slowly. It honestly feels like Spirit is saying this week literally is the end point of Mercury retrograde, as I believe on the 6th, if not the 7th, I can't remember exactly, Mercury then goes direct. And so it's almost like you're just shaken back to a more lively reality. I'm not saying there aren't lively moments, but it just feels very ultra peaceful, kind of out of it, maybe a bit blah at certain points because of this retrograde. And I'm not saying that's getting in the way per se, but I do feel as if it's almost like the week comes to a close and it's like, what just changed? That's what changed. The planets are shifting for you. And so I feel like as well, they're saying you may find a little bit of a Mercury retrograde hangover coming to be after this week. And we'll talk about it potentially in the other readings that we do past this week. But there's a sense of you needing to remember as well, especially if you're ultra connected to spirit like I am, but either way, it's a spiritual week. There's a 1 to 2 week shadow period after each and every Mercury retrograde where the effects kind of are feeling like they're fading, right? And so, yeah, some feel it more than others. Again, okay, the Nine of Swords. So they're saying that there's something potentially stressful about your sleep, and it could be multiple aspects of which, but they're saying we surround you, we protect you, and if need be, we'll wake you up and maybe put you back to sleep if need be. Because remembering that each and every spirit in that realm is not positive, okay? That's just a realistic aspect of life. But the Fool card, I just heard lighthearted fun, in a sense of you kind of having this fool-like energy where you're a bit goofy at certain points, you're putting on a show. There's a bit of a push to focus upon the fun aspects of life because it may be something about, let me try that again. There may be something this week about you just maybe getting caught up in the responsibilities, the maturity that you're needing to embody and utilize. And they want you to then remember that, enjoying yourself is going to be one of your best strategies. But I also want to say that a lot of witch drawn to the reading are doing a ton of speaking. And as I'm struggling now at this point in the reading, you're needing to remember that catching your breath, taking a water break, spacing things out is going to be another great strategy for you, because we don't need you creating or speaking a lack of quality or just struggling. But the Ten of Swords keeps coming out in the set of weekly readings. For this feels to be a time where certain things are feeling useless to you, or just not in alignment, not the right choice, unhealthy maybe, as we are feeling a shift, a change in the air, in the energy field for this Taurus collective. But let's pull one more. I just saw 1616. The Devil card, temptations at hand. And so Spirit's saying if you're going to choose to give in, or you just happen to, overdoing it is not the right choice. But this again talks about a state of burnout that you're either heading towards, or maybe experiencing side effects because you are naturally, realistically in that state of being at that point. But the Empress card, as Spirit is saying, what do you wish to give birth to next? For that lies on the horizon. There's new energy throughout this week. There's fertile energy. And I really feel like, the vibes are vibing is what I'm hearing. And you're going to be viewed at and digested and, perceived as this very transformed soul. A transformed Taurus is a magical showstopper, somebody who is unstoppable. And it just feels like you're going to be as well utilizing nature to your advantage and wanting to see more out of life. And they're saying that's absolutely beautiful. The King of Cups now coming out, so there's something about you being emotionally mature, advanced, and maybe even emotionally sensitive at certain points. But the Two of Pentacles, because it's a week where you're going through this balancing act and feeling as if you really can do no wrong, all right? And you really feel to be somebody who's very intelligent, very experienced, advanced once again, and people are seeing you in that light. But let's bring this reading full circle by going back to the main energy, the Sun card over here on the left, where Spirit is saying this week you're going to be feeling this sunny energy within and outside of you. You're going to find this is a very positive week for you, full of sunny experiences, random happiness, and accomplishments and success that just feels really good for you. It feels like Spirit's saying very clearly, Taurus, your week is very much highlighting the fact that your life, your path is improving by the day. All right. So those are your messages for this upcoming week. I hope they were truly helpful. I'm sending you so much love and light. Bye, Taurus.